If you've ever had your cat scratch you and mistaken it for a brand new tattoo, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. Welcome back to another episode of Live Trading. Got a lot of stuff to go through here. CPI, SPY popped, IWM is ripping. We're going to cover it all. We got 13 in the back. Let's get it.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. Lynn, good morning from beautiful and free Tennessee. You love to hear that. Welcome back. Hopefully, you all had a great evening. We're back for another day here of trading. Can't thank you all enough for joining us. I'm going to bring on my main man, 13, and we're going to break all of this stuff down. 13, how you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm doing fine. Just trying to get caught up here. I spent too much time reading into the CPI report, but we'll discuss all that. So how are you guys?
I'm doing pretty well. I know Carmen's doing well. She had KZIA and wasn't paying attention yesterday, up over 200%.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Great success.
Great success, definitely, Carmen, but that was the wrong drop. We're going to give you a register ring anyway. Really, really good stuff there. Bernhard missed all of yesterday on the road for 15 hours. My goodness, that's a lot of driving. Where were you going? Hopefully, or it seems like everything was safe. Seems like you were safe on your travels there.
That's about how long it takes to drive across my state.
Take that. So, all right, Bernhard. Hopefully you enjoy wherever you've traveled to. All right, 13, let's go ahead and break down the market. We're going to start with the SPY. Obviously, we had some news here today. Let's go ahead and cover it for any of you that might have missed it. We did get our CPI print year over year, June, plus 3% versus the 3.1 estimate, so it slowed a little bit more. U.S. core CPI month over month for June, 1/10 versus the 2/10 estimate. Prior reading was 0.2. Jobless claims, 222,000 versus the 236 estimate. Prior reading was 239. We'll see if we get a revision there. And then the CPI month over month for June down 0.1% versus a 0.1% increase. Prior reading was flat. So definitely a positive CPI print here. The initial reaction for the SPY was awesome. Thing popped right away. Now we've retraced most of that move. I want to get your opinion on this. Before we talk about different SPY levels and where we go here, let me actually zoom into the intraday chart so we can see what's going on there. I'd like to get your opinion on the report and what you think it means for the broader market here today.
Well, CPI and core CPI were down slightly over the last month's read. So market's taking that a little bit better than they would have. I think the more interest rate sensitive names are looking better. I think we're getting that indication from the IWM because it's building sentiment that there might be some kind of rate cut sooner than later. The next Fed meeting is at the end of this month, so maybe there's some hopes. We could check the Fed Watch tool for changes in the expectations of when we're going to get rate cuts. But I would expect that July might be a little bit higher now. September probably is a little bit higher. This report is leaning in the direction that rate cuts may happen sooner than later. The problem I have with this is that when you start reading into the CPI report, you start to see that the most the segments that haven't come down enough yet are the ones that are most affected by rates. So that's why I'm still on the side that I think the Fed's going to be late to cutting rates. Because the ones that are the things that are keeping us up above 3% and haven't really gotten down into the 2% handle yet, where they want to be, is because that we have rates still being as high as what they are. Now, what's good news is that the jobs report is showing that the job market is cooling off. That was the last pillar to fall, in my opinion. In order for the Fed to start feeling comfortable about rates, because they wanted to see unemployment tick up a little bit. Well, it has done that. So all the things that they've wanted to see have now sort of all happened. So I would think that the Fed is more inclined to start cutting rates at some point, at least once this year, even though I still think they should have been doing it earlier. We can just disagree all we want on when rate cuts are supposed to happen. But to me, I think this report is showing us that the Fed may be a little bit late. And there's probably going to still be data dependent, which means they're going to be even later.
Okay. So do you think we get one in September?
probably.
Yeah. I'm still gonna stay with no rate cuts. I do understand though. It does look like there's going to be some. Jay Rice from the chat mentioning that they're hearing that 3 cuts are now priced in for 2024.
It's kind of like this. It's kind of like this. When we were talking about 3 rate cuts, in my mind, I had the entire time that each cut would be just 25 basis points. And that would actually make sense to me for the entire year, to just do no more than 75 basis point cut total throughout the entire year. We haven't cut any this year. So now I'm starting to think, well, if the Fed's going to be a little bit late here and they start getting reports that show that they are a little bit late to the rate cuts, are they going to increase the size of those rate cuts? So we still could get 75 basis point cuts, but it might be in the 2 cuts instead of 3, or it might be 1 big cut instead of smaller cuts. So we got to have to keep that possibility on the table. I don't necessarily think that that's what might happen, but I still think that they are going to be late, and they should have been started cutting very, very slowly. But they're losing ground for being able to do that.
Okay. All right. Well, we will see what happens here. Again, action here on the SPY had a nice little pop there. We've retraced some of that move, although we are holding higher here. So we'll see what the open brings. I saw a number of you talking about the IWM. That here is really ripping. That is actually really firm and continuing higher here. IWM definitely been one of the laggards. So it'd be great to see if we can actually get this to move and maybe break out of this 210, 211 area that it's kind of been consolidating in since the end of last year, right? Yep, December of last year. It'll be interesting to see how this affects a lot of the small caps. I know some of the stocks that I just kind of been holding for a long time that haven't really been performing well are small caps. We'll see if they end up moving here today. So really curious to see what you folks are looking to trade here today.
And just for the exact dates, July 30th to 31st is when the next FOMC meeting is. So we got about 20 days from now.
Yeah. And DJF here saying, I'm not being suckered into buying the IWM junk. I've seen this movie before. If you need cheap rates, your business generally sucks. Aha.
He's not wrong about the IWM having a lot of junk businesses. He's not wrong about that. We just had Tim on yesterday telling us about that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Definitely. All right. Well, we'll see what we get here today. Should be an interesting one. Let's go ahead and break down the movers. Then we'll go ahead and take some stocks from the chat, whatever you folks are looking at. Jay, I see that you were mentioning a couple of things here. Regional banks, solar, utilities, home builders. So got some stuff that we can take a look at here for trading. And we did have some other stocks that are moving. We know we had Delta earnings here this morning. We'll cover that. I know Pepsi's trading lower. We can take a look at that as well. Let's roll through some of these movers here real quick, and then we'll flip over to some of the other stocks that you folks are taking a look at. Here's one that I actually didn't cover earlier this morning. This is just recently popping here. This is ticker BDRX. This is definitely one that we have all traded here before. Biodexa Pharmaceutical shares trading higher after the company reported 12-month phase 2 trial results for ERAPA and treating some disease that I'm not going to butcher right there. This did pop as high as 160. Came back into the VWAP, bouncing here, moving on some pretty high volume. Stock was a penny stock yesterday, so kind of keep this one on your radar. That's what's going on here with BDRX. Float is under 10 million here, and we are rocketing past our average volume. So let's see what kind of action we get. Do you have anything here on BDRX? I know this moved a little bit late, and we were preparing for some other stuff. So okay, if you don't have any notes on it.
No, this is one of the earlier ones I was looking at. Yeah, you pretty much covered everything. This is, for, the GI tract and removing or treating polyps. But so, this is something that's going to definitely be used. Now, I don't have levels particularly for this, but it seems like we've come up to 1. If I look at the 1 hour chart, going back to April when we had a pop back then, it seems like we've gone up to that level. We can also get as high as what we saw in May, where we were trying to consolidate to go higher. We almost hit 3. So I'd say maybe somewhere between 265 and 295 could be a topping out area unless this keeps going. Because remember, this is phase 2, and we still have phase 3 trials to get through. They're still bringing it to market. So this is, going to be one of those, instances where we can try to trade this, but just don't hold on to it because there's still more cash to be burned and getting into the next trial with this. Just keep that in mind.
Okay. Okay, real good stuff there. Next here is going to be VCLN. This is one that we've traded recently. This actually had a move in the after hours yesterday, so congrats to anyone that might still be holding this one. Another move higher here today. Looks like this tried to go towards an 8 handle, couldn't quite get it. Some resistance definitely here at 7, although we're doing a really good job kind of holding up here in this consolidation range, and we're just slightly under VWAP, really not by a whole lot. There was some news on this one here. EV maker Volcon stock skyrockets over 70% in the pre-market following UBS Group's buy-sell transactions. What happened as per a recent SEC filing, UBS Group, I believe this was yesterday, a significant shareholder in Volcon engaged in buying and selling shares of the company, triggering a sharp rise in the stock. So that's what's going on here with ticker VLCN. That action continuing, obviously, into this morning. So we'll see if we get another trade here on VLCN. Did you have anything on this one?
Yeah, this the UBS Holdings thing, they had already been holding some shares, and then there was a report that they were adding, and it wasn't a big ad, but it really got eyes on what their holdings were. Now this is a 300,000 share float, so very, very small. They did a number of reverse splits two this year, 1 for 100 on June 7th and 1 for 45 on February 5th. So this has been reverse split twice. That makes me a little nervous. Like they are just in constant need of having to raise cash in order to stay compliant. They have to reverse split. That's kind of what I'm getting here with this. And I haven't taken a look at their offerings, but I'm assuming that they would be recent. Their cash position doesn't look too great. So it looks like because of how much cash they have on hand and how much, according to their last income statement, how much they burn. I think that at some point we're going to see an offering soon, with this company. So just be very, very careful with this. Don't get caught in this one if they do make that offer soon.
Yeah. One thing to note here, and this was mentioned by one of the chatters here, Jonathan Cooper, shout out to you. Good morning. VLCN high short interest. So a couple of things. Indeed, he's correct. Also, we got another update here to short interest. So all of this is going to be effective as of yesterday. Have the most recent data here right now. Short interest 56.97% here on VLCN. Now days to cover is only 1 just because of the average volume here. But definitely a high short interest percentage. So we'll see if this gets maybe some juice and keeps running. But that's what's going on here with VLCN. Actually, it looks like we were rejected right there at the VWAP. So for a trade, we definitely want to see that get above and perhaps build above the VWAP. So, okay. Really good stuff there, VLCN. KZIA, this is what Carmen was mentioning earlier. This actually had a huge move yesterday and then went up and tested the intraday highs in the after-hour session. We actually popped through those highs earlier in the pre-market, although we're still kind of hovering right around that area, holding right above 1 here, VWAP at 98 cents. Was there anything fresh here today? Let's see. No, this was all the stuff here from yesterday. So that was their brain cancer results there. Anyway, KZIA looks like maybe some continuation here today. I'll probably avoid this stock. Grats to any of you that were holding this. Like Carmen, looks like you're having a pretty good day here. We'll see if any of these smaller names really get some juice with the IWM move. Did you have anything on KZIA that you wanted to cover?
Not particularly, but it did try to get up and over 120. So I think that if you're trading this today, that would be my upside target to break out over. Just need to see more volume expansion to get up and through that. But that's the first level there to get to 120.
All right, good stuff. Next one here on the list is BSFC. This is Blue Star Foods. This did pop as high as 340. We're still up about 42% here in the pre-market. Don't have anything fresh on this one. Did you have anything on BSFC?
No, I don't. This isn't one of the ones I covered, but I'm keeping it on my radar just in case it gets movement.
Yeah, we'll watch this and just kind of like the volume flow throughout the course of the day, but this is not one that I'm necessarily set up to trade here. Next one here, though, QS, QuantumScape. Okay, so I know this is definitely one that we've traded before. This popped all the way to 8. It's come back in a little bit, but doing a really good job staying above its VWAP. QuantumScape shares are trading higher after the company announced that it entered into an agreement with PowerCo to industrialize solid-state batteries. So getting a nice little PR there. Volume looks pretty good. This stock's moving higher. I know you covered this one, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. So this is kind of a big deal if they're going to move forward with building out solid state batteries, because as I was mentioning to you and before we got on here, was we've had the CEO, I believe, from Cattle, who makes the largest manufacturer of the EV batteries in the world. They said that they've tried to get solid state right, and they haven't been able to. So they don't believe that this will work. If this works, that could be a big disruptor for cattle and maybe even lithium ion battery industry. Just kind of thinking out loud here with that, because I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen if these do start to replace lithium ion batteries, and they do hold up to all the promises they're supposed to have. But this is something that I think bears watching. As far as the trade today, the problem I have with this is that this has moved up really well, but it has a huge float. So when it comes to these large floats, and after we open in the regular session, I want to see what happens with this, because I have I get nervous about trading these large float names that are only moving on that news catalyst. It's days like this where you start to see these large float ones just slowly trickle down. We talked about this one, another one earlier this week that really didn't do a whole lot for the day. It did go a little bit higher, but not too much higher. So I just feel a little bit more cautious on this. I'm not sure we might get the price action we're looking for. It may be a bit of more of a slower mover than these other ones we're talking about today. Still, at the same time, it does have a 15.14% short interest in 10 days to cover.
Okay, real good breakdown there. Fairchild saying here, the science tech is a ways off here, something to consider. We might be early on some of these trades, but nonetheless, we'll see how it trades today. Atul, thanks for joining us here today. Good morning. What platform is this? This is the one and only Benzinga Pro. This is the financial newswire equipped with a bunch of scanners and calendars. It can help you get any information that you need. This is what I use to generate all of the day trading ideas that we have throughout the course of the day. This is also how we stay on top of news as well as our community. It's got built-in chat rooms. Let me know if you're interested. I can always get you a deal. Okay. Jay saying, Ryan, did you see the 8 a.m. show yesterday? Brian Shannon likes TGTX, can't argue with the chart. I didn't. I was actually tied up yesterday morning, but you know what? I can go back and watch that replay. That won't be a problem at all. I still like TGTX too. I've traded that a couple of times and made some pretty decent money on it and all. Currently, I don't have any position, so maybe it's time to start looking here. We take a look at TGTX. Indeed, this daily chart here looking pretty good. This thing looks like it wants to go higher. Jay, let me know if you do anything here with TGTX. I'd be curious to know.
It is a little extended, so I think that if we want this to go higher, we need to see it cool off a bit.
Take a break,
and then just rip right past the $20 handle. Yep.
Okay. Next here on the list is going to be CYN. This is Sing. I don't even know how to properly pronounce this one. Ticker CYN. This did pop almost as high as 750. We've really retraced quite a bit, and we're actually more than $1 away from the VWAP to the downside here. We did have a catalyst here with more than $1 billion in annual sales. Alta Equipment Group joins Sing's dealer network. So looks like this dealer network here getting another participant to it. Stocks up 30% here. You got anything on ticker CYN 13?
This has another large float in it. It's 140 million shares. They did do a 1-for-100 reverse split. So think about that for a second. They just did a 1-for-100 reverse split on the 5th of this month, and their float is still 140 million shares. So that's interesting to me. I still think that the float's a little bit heavy. I don't know how good this is going to be to trade. I see that it does have some short interest, but again, it's they had that reverse split. So
we'll see. We'll see here on CYN. You folks have a couple. The rest of these movers here, CNSP, this was a pop and drop. This is just kind of where we're at. I'm just going to roll through them real quick. We'll go ahead and talk about the ones that you want to talk about. Synogen, Tom, that's what I thought too, but looking at it, that's not what it looks like. I don't think that I don't think that's how you pronounce it, but nonetheless here. And then you guys were asking about ASNS? I can't remember. I can't find it here. There's so much going on.
ASN?
No, there was someone else here that was mentioning. I don't know if maybe it's past now. Okay. All right, let's go roll through a couple more things. I'll take some stocks here from the chat. A couple of things that I wanted to start with here. First one's going to be Delta. They reported earnings here today. So Delta Airlines shares trading lower. Following Q2 earnings miss. It also reiterated its fiscal year 24 outlook and issued lower than expected Q3 EPS outlook. So Delta here taking a little bit of hit on that guidance. We'll see American Airlines, United Airlines, all lower in sympathy with Delta. We'll see if this bounces or if it takes another leg down. Pepsi, this is PEP.
Real quick about Delta. Yeah. It's interesting that it's down because the airports have been packed. They've seen a huge increase year over year in traffic all throughout the year so far this year. So it's kind of surprising that this is down, but I guess it's because they're not managing their prices very well.
Okay. Pepsi, another one here. This looking like this is really going to test the support here. We're kind of at 159 here. We're like testing this support that we've talked about. Last time we talked about Pepsi, we were talking about it maybe reclaiming the 200-day. It was flat out rejected there. So we'll see where Pepsi ends up going here. All right, let's go ahead and take some tickers here from the chat. I think that was all that I had. You guys want to take a look at Peggy. I'm not quite sure why. Nothing's really going on there. Did we have any news on Peggy?
No, I'm just looking. Sorry, I'm just checking out.
Oh, good. No. I was kind of just asking generally here. Peggy holding higher after a couple of days move here. Don't really see anything fresh here. Down 5% in the pre-market. I don't think there's anything else going on here, folks. I don't know. Let me know if I'm missing something. Why are you asking about this one? I don't really see anything else going on here. What else do you folks have here? You want to take a look at AMD? And it'll be interesting to see if what the tech trade does here today. AMD, Nvidia, TSM, Apple, Tesla. Really kind of interested in all of those stocks here. AMD, really not a whole lot this morning. Popped a little bit on the CPI figure, came back in, really kind of just holding flat. Not a whole lot of shares traded. Really nothing to take away from the action here yet this morning.
That was a good point that Lynn Williams had about Delta. They have lower fleet sizes compared to the pre-pandemic. I remember when they were offloading aircraft.
Yep.
And that reminds me, there's a really interesting site here. I'll just send it to you so you can post it. So I don't have that capability at the moment. That's a good website that I just sent you that you can see how many aircraft are in each of the different airlines' fleet. And you can see which ones they are and when they plan to get more.
Cool little tool there.
Yeah.
Went ahead and posted that in the chat there. So if you want to use that, go ahead. Okay. What else am I taking a look at here? Sorry, I'm trying to scroll back up, make sure I don't miss anybody from earlier.
I saw that there was a lot of talk about silver, and that has seen an increase in its price, its spot price lately. So that's something we could take a look at. I saw that one of my favorite silver stocks, it's a silver streamer, Wheaton Precious Metals, that has been on an absolute tear lately.
Okay.
So we could talk about silver a little bit if you want.
Yeah, we can take a look at that. I see that, Jay, you were mentioning SoFi here. That looks like that's up about 3.5% here. I do see a Form 4 in here, which is probably what that's up on. Think so, right? Looks like just an insider. Oh no, that was an insider. So no, that was an older one. My apologies. So all right, SoFi up here 3.65%. This is popping here in the pre-market. Not sure what the trade plan is here. I'm not even remotely interested in SoFi until this gets above the 200-day. We'll see if we're able to do that there. Okay, what silver stock did you want to take a look at?
Well, just I only mentioned my favorite one. It was WPM. Wheaton Precious
Wheaton
Metals.
Precious Metals.
Yeah, this one got a price target raise yesterday, and I mean, if you look at the chart, if you back onto the chart, you can see how we're right on the cusp of breaking out of this previous all-time high that they put in back in 2020. So it's, you know, the nice thing I like about this one is that they don't have the leverage needed to mine. They actually just own the rights. So there's I think there's a lot less risk. They also pay a dividend, I believe. But I think this is a pretty good one if you're looking to play the silver side. One to consider. There's other names that you should consider too. But if silver is interesting to you, then I would encourage you to take a closer look at this one and see if this is right for you, because I think this has been a great stock. Maybe not get into it now, but on pullbacks, this could be a good one. And also, if you can, maybe even get some physical metal, gold and silver, because I think that's good to hold too.
That's my biggest recommendation I've learned from other people. All right, we're open. Also worth noting here, ticker MSTR MicroStrategy announcing a 10-for-1 stock split. I know we've all kind of talked about, hey, what's the next stock to split? We've talked about Costco. They had some pretty good news. They're going to raise their membership price in September. So, okay, we are open. Let's go ahead and flip over to the scanner. Also, as a reminder here, the stream is sponsored by Trade the Pool. So if you need help getting above the 25K day trading threshold, or you simply just need some more dry powder to trade, Trade the Pool might be the answer for your problem. Go ahead and check them out. Great group of guys over there. All right. Let's see. Let me actually go over to the Trade the Pool software right here. Bang, bang, bang. Let's see what we got. Let's take a look at this opening print here. Smoke Tuna, good morning. Bonjour. Mentioning Nova here. That is a little bit higher. Robert, it's great to see you as always, man. Redfin, that is higher here. How are some of those home builders doing? Like Toll, that's higher here as well. DHI, I believe, is DR Horton. That's higher here. Okay.
Just looking to see what's happening with some of these names that were moving up, and it looks like they're kind of turning around now. Let's see what's going on with Bitcoin here, because I think that was getting mentioned that it's doing better. Yeah, it is. It's trying to reclaim 59K. Looks like it did that earlier this morning and then came right back down.
Here's KZIA. Here's that penny stock going for the pre-market high here. Let's see if we end up popping that off here.
VRPX just taking off right now. That was one from yesterday.
Yeah.
Yep. This one might get halted if it keeps going. It was a pretty big move there. So yeah, keep some of these older ones from yesterday on your radar. Some of these, because all these rate sensitive low float names that are kind of in the IWM, they're all getting attention right now. Keep an eye on them. About some of the ones
that are here real quick.
VLCN trying to break above VWAP right now.
Let me put that up here real quick. I'm sorry, I'm still doing something on my other screen. I apologize. It's taking me so long.
VLCN, if it breaks here, we'd be looking at 740 as an upside target. Here we go. Come on. And while that one works, BDRX, I think you said it was suspended, right?
I did not. It looks like Market Sniper was on that one. BRDX nice. Here.
Nice.
Wait, no, that's. Yeah. Oop, BRDX. I don't have it here in trade. That's interesting. Didn't I just pull that up? No. BDR. Oh my God. It's BDRX. Yes. Not BRDX, Market Sniper. And I got to get better than that. Got to get better at doing that.
And what else is happening here?
VLCN did move through that VWAP. It is trying to go for some more highs here on VLCN. BRDX, this is halted right beneath the VWAP there.
Yeah, 740 is what I think VLCN is headed towards. The pre-market high is 787. If it can get over that 740 and at least get a close over it, I think that we're probably going to end up breaking that high. But first things need to happen first.
First things need to happen first. Could not have said it better myself. SOUN here. Tuna, you're mentioning this one. Looks like Bex is on this one too. This is curling up. Let's see if we take out those pre-market highs here. See if we can make a run for 6. AMD is running. So, yep, AMD, nice little move off the open here. NVIDIA, the opposite direction. How are some of these other names doing? Tesla, nice little bounce there. Lynn and Randy, be curious on your Tesla plan here for today. Apple a little bit lower.
Looks like Pepsi got rebought at the lows. It's positive at the moment. All right, so VLCN still getting a VWAP projection at the moment. Just kind of looking at CYN. You're saying CYN's going. Let me take a look here. It's kind of whipping around out the gate. It looks like it's trying to push up, and as I say that, it's still trying to. Yeah, I guess it's holding VWAP. Well, at least it's holding my VWAP at the moment. As long as that it stays up there, that's okay. We just need to start to move away from it toward the upside. I think that if we see that, let's see, the pre-market high in that one in CYN is 744. It's been rejected there twice. If enough volume comes in to where we can get back up there and it maintains that volume, we could see it break over that. But still need to see it get through all the consolidation it had here in the pre-market. Oh, Sound is almost at that 595 level where it was rejected twice in pre-market. That's a level to take out. The LCN still holding above VWAP. Looks like there's a big old wall at 7. And CLSK is about to break the pre-market high of 1586. I think it wants 16.
Oh my gosh, that's a nice little move here so far. Jay keeps trimming LNTH. Man, this is one of the best trades that you've made live on this show, Jay. Just awesome stuff. I think your initial buy here was in a 40 or a 50 handle, something like that. Huge move here for Lantheus. Great job, Jay. Great job. And thanks for sharing that here with the group as well.
Remember Limbach?
Oh, LMB?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. When we were talking about that at 5.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Yeah, sure do.
It looks like it's trying to go higher, break out of the 60 handle. But we'll see. This is a company that specializes in HVAC, and we're going to need a lot of that in the future. So this is going to be an interesting company to keep on your radar. I mean, you might need to wait for it to pull it back.
Yeah, it's made a kind of huge move already. Indeed. Yeah. Nova continuing higher here.
KZIA could continue.
Yes, FC. I don't know that chart for that doesn't look all that great. How are those solars doing? Still okay. Solar Edge still higher. Let's check ENPH higher. TAN higher. Okay, that moves firm and holding. How's the SPY doing? SPY actually leaking a little bit here. How's the IWM doing? Is that staying firm or is that coming back in? IWM back into VWAP. We'll see where this finishes here today. Ray saying on KZIA, I don't like the long wicks. It is wicking near the top. So you want to buy these support levels instead of those breakout levels. Looks like Delta trying to go lower here. I wonder how some of the other stocks that are in sympathy with that. JBlue going lower, American Airlines going lower. So it looks like all those taking another leg down.
Yep.
QURE. Sydney, you're on that one.
Glad we read the same thing.
Yeah, that's kind of holding here. It's kind of holding here.
Yeah,
CRSP.
It's beneath VWAP, the QURE. I think if this 65 EMA fails, then you're looking at probably down underneath 950, where there might be the next level of support. If we do get a hold here from the 65 EMA on the 5-minute, then I'd be looking at 1134 as my upside target. That was the high from yesterday.
Okay. Good stuff there.
And BSFC is at the 200 EMA on the 5-minute, and it is trying to hold. Volume isn't too encouraging right now, so we'll see what happens here. But if this breaks down, then I think this is probably going under 2.
Yeah, that to me looks like it's going to break lower as well. VLCN just kind of jostling right here at the VWAP, spread a little bit, but still holding higher here.
Yeah, that seems like 2 rejections of VWAP right there. Now it's to see if the 65
Kingdom Lamb. I'm sorry for interrupting you, 13. Can you sue your internet provider for tethering you while making a high share trade? No, not as far as I'm aware. You cannot sue your internet provider because of your trades. That would be something else, though. Hopefully everything's working out for you.
We might not have internet providers if we could do that.
Oh man.
Okay, hold on a second. I gotta do something here.
SOUN getting mentioned here by Tuna. That's at the highs. Tuna, you were just saying you want to buy weakness. You want this to come back into the VWAP, I'm guessing. You should be able to, says Market Snuffer. Oh, yeah. That is. It's 13. I still think the funniest thing that has happened this week is when I was asking you how you and your family were holding up. And you just responded, everything's fine. We got power, and I'm just bored. And
oh gosh,
we're of a blue sky, and oh my god,
it was rough because we had no power or internet, and usually when that happens, it's like, oh, it's a good opportunity to go outside. Well, there was a hurricane, so it really wasn't a great opportunity. I was so bored. So we just did board games.
Well done. VLCN here, pretty nasty pull. It's to the bottom end of the range, so worth seeing if it bounces here. $6 at that halt. Dustin, Ryan, you still wearing them yoga pants? I don't own any pairs of yoga pants. I think you're referring to the Lululemons, which are the ABCs. I'll let you look up what that stands for. I am still wearing those, of course. They're awesome. KZIA here, halted to the upside, so this continuing to rip here. Carmen, you got to be doing the happy money dance this morning. You got to be doing the happy money dance here this morning. That is ripping. Let us know where you're going to trim some of that. CYN holding in here. See if that moves. ISPC, your next penny stock, that's actually at the pre-market high here. QuantumScape, a little bit of a dip. We'll see if it recaptures the VWAP. Tesla, maybe we're at a reversal point here. Let me know, Lynn. CrowdStrike moving this morning. Up a little bit here. How's Costco doing after that news yesterday? First time since 2017, Costco is going to raise their prices. Wow, Costco giving it all up. So very interesting. Costco popped here in the after hours, giving everything back up here today. I'll say this, as a Costco customer, the price raise on the executive membership of $10 is an absolute nothing burger. You get rewards depending on what you buy at Costco. It will easily soak up the increase in price. To me, that's just a non-factor here. Got to lead to higher margins on the bottom line. Curious in the move in Costco here. Jay, okay, so you're mentioning the unwind trader. Jay here saying this unwind happening, lots of traders were hedging cues with the IWM short. We actually talked about this quite a bit in happy hour. Totally agree with you. And it looks like that trade is unwinding now. How are you capturing that, Jay? What are you looking for? IWM actually looks like this is trying to go higher here. And portfolio full of small caps also looking pretty well today, which is odd. Some of the other stuff in here. FMC up today. Interesting. Jay, what do you make of this move for your INDI, right? It's a tech name. So definitely one of the smaller caps. This actually has a pretty decent daily chart. Looks like we're trying to take out a bunch of moving averages and move higher here.
It seems like some of the things that we're pulling at the open are now trying to reverse and go higher. I'm seeing some of that here. I'm not saying that that's happening across everything, but that so far that's what I'm noticing.
Well, that's what you're seeing in the SPY. That pulled back. That's actually trying to go higher here. Let's check in on Delta. That's trying to go higher here. Okay.
Yeah. BSFC. That one it got support from the 200 EMA on the 5-minute down there 3 times. Got support back above VWAP. Now it's trying to push through the 65 EMA. Once we get past that, I'm looking at the 280s to get through next.
Okay.
KZI suspended, VLCN suspended, aka halted.
Yeah, this one is halted to the upside. Did VLCN halt again? No, that is still that downside halt there at $6. RNLX, this is another penny stock. Someone mentioned this earlier. That's just moving lower here. Don't see any trade there yet. Tom here, let me read this comment here. Out of interest, I live in London around Canary Wharf, which is where data centers are right next to the exchanges for the bot micro trading.
Oh, yes.
Apparently meters distance makes a difference at speed scale. Indeed it does. Indeed it does.
I cannot remember what the name of the movie is, but they made a whole movie on this. It was in the United States, and it had a couple of big names in it, and I cannot think of who it was, of what this movie was. But basically,
Tesla.
Yeah, there you go. So we're going to talk about that. We'll talk about Tesla. That's more important.
Well, Tesla, I actually just noticed that calls were flooding in here on the unusual option activity signal here within Benzinga Pro. Tesla here ripping to the highs. Actually took out those pre-market highs briefly. This looks like this wants to go higher here.
Yeah, and I had posted yesterday all the RSIs of the Mag 7 to kind of show where the overbuying was, and pretty much every single one of them except Tesla had a monthly RSI of 69 or higher. Apple had a 69.5 RSI. Amazon was 70.8. Google is 76.7. Meta is 75. Microsoft 74.25. Nvidia 88.6, and Tesla 56. So Tesla's the lowest on the monthly RSI. So they may still move a little bit higher, but some of these other ones are just super overcooked on every time frame.
Ron, good morning. It's great to see you as always. Mentioning CRM here. CRM actually having a pretty decent day. We'll see if this actually fills the gap up to 269 there. Should find some resistance if it gets up there.
Looks like Archer had a drop out of the gate and found support at the 200 EMA and the 5-minute, and now is trying to trade back up and recapture the pre-market high of 453.
Would love for this to break above that recent high on the daily. I think 5 would be a pretty good target for that if it does it.
KZIA now putting in a high of 150. I think this could even go up to the 170s. Yeah. Yeah, it's about to do that too there. Yeah.
Flash Boy's book covers the HFT traders. I don't think that's what you were talking about, was it? It was a book. You're talking about a movie, so I don't think so.
I was talking about a movie. I'm not sure what the name of the movie was.
Jay, you're right here on Chewy. That 25 level definitely seems to be the new support level. Might be a decent trade here off 25 on Chewy. Did you take any of this? Or were you? I can't remember if you were trading this or not.
Oh, I did. I don't have the position anymore.
No, Jay. Sorry, sorry. I'm not being clear enough this morning. I'll work on that.
That's okay. No, you're fine. All right. What else? I mean, lots of
JJ, apparently I ran you over there. 13 JJ is asking if you think KZIA can go higher from where it's at right now or from the spot that you mentioned.
So when I was mentioning the 170s, I was looking at, to the left for some levels. Let me just give you a better level here. So there's one particular spike here that back in April, where it got as high as about 169. So that would be the next level there that I'd be aiming for if I'm trading this, and I'd be looking for a little bit of pullback if it gets up there and gets rejected. I want to see it curl later and break through it, but I don't know that I'd get my wish. So 168. Since that's where I think this topped out at. Yeah, 168 would be the next upside target, and I don't know what happens after that.
VLCN is open here. That's just about 10 cents higher than that $6 level. Feels a little heavy though.
I think
MicroStrategy continuing to run on the back of that news of the split. Sorry, 13.
No worries. I think VLCN could go lower. It has been getting rejected at VWAP since about 805 in the pre-market, and it has not been able to recapture it, and it's starting to look like it's putting in a bearish pattern. So if this cannot reclaim the VWAP soon, I think it's going under 575.
Good stuff there. Tesla, more calls here. 270 calls, 277.5 calls. Those are some puts, man. A lot of Tesla option action going on right now. Tesla new highs here, 268. Looks like that tested 267.
Yeah, as extended as it is on the daily, it's not extended on the monthly. So I think that's
okay.
That's where some of the appeal is.
ISPC is wild. That's that penny stock. Hey, Tuna, you were on it. You were on it, my man.
All right. Sound. If the sound SOUN, if that can hold VWAP here, this might go higher. At the very least, 575. If it can hold that or VWAP, it might go higher. But we need to see the volume return. It's just kind of putting in a little bit of an interesting pattern here. So we'll see what happens. We have about 3.5 minutes left in this candle.
Chris, it's great to see you this morning, my man. Awesome job on the Tesla trade here. Tesla already out. Don't overstay your welcome. Chris, I think this is really, really sound advice. Nice job there on Tesla. Let me know if you have another target or another price level that you're looking to capture this at. So 2 trades for $7 here on Tesla. Lynn and Randy, that is awesome. I should have been trading Tesla with you here today. Love to know again what your levels are here. Yeah, Jay, we saw that Baidu. You saw me just bring that up there. We had some news recently that some of those Chinese stocks were popping. That affected Baidu, Baba, TME, a couple of those names. Definite laggards that are starting to get a pop here. Baidu more so than Baba, although Baba having a really great day. Gets above that 78.12. That's your 50-day moving average. You'd love to see a close above that level.
Saw mentioned for Workhorse. Remember that one?
Yeah.
They apparently have news. They unveiled I guess a new vehicle with a 208-inch wheelbase, 22-step van body, and 1,200 cubic foot cargo volume. I'd be careful with Workhorse. This isn't something I think that anybody wants to hold. We've seen what happens with this company's stock. It does not do well. So,
and that's a real bottom chart. Now, the opposite of that, pretty much, Jay's Life mentioning PanW here. This is one of my favorite, best in breed for cybersecurity. Looking at the daily chart here, it looks like this is trying to break out from maybe this 450 level. We would fill a gap here at what, 362-ish. If that continues to trade up here. Palo Alto, we've made a great trade on this earlier this year. And that was a swing trade too. We were able to get pretty nice gains in a very short order. Would love to hit this one again. I'd be curious to see if it breaks out here. This probably trading just overall with the day here today. Jay, I'm curious to know what your levels are here on PanW. I'd love to know what you're seeing here. I love this company and I have no position here. This is definitely one I'd like trading.
Bad day.
Chris, appreciate this too. Tesla two here. Let me actually bring up the Tesla chart so we can
nice.
eye those levels. 268.94 to 273 might do it, but I'm wary of the overall volume in the market. Okay, so you're looking for a pop above that level there, 269, let's call it. Everything in the Mag 7 is red except for Tesla. Indeed. We already took a look at Apple. That was really selling off here this morning. NVIDIA at the lows. How's SMCI doing today? SMCI also at the lows. I know it's not part of the Mag 7, but nonetheless. Delta here reclaiming its VWAP. Yeah. Delta reclaiming its VWAP and unable or kind of holding it right here. Be curious to see if this one goes higher a little bit once that report is digested here. Maybe once the conference call starts. That's in 6 minutes, by the way. Conference call starts at 10 a.m. EMPH Solar, this is holding higher. I actually am seeing some puts roll through here on the option flow.
Yeah, with Delta, gosh, what a bounce off the 200-day SMA. I mean, that's what is happening right now.
It's defending it really well.
Oh,
indeed. Yeah. Here, let me bring that up.
So there could be like a short-term trade here with Delta to try to retake 45 or higher, because that's 200 is a very strong support level.
And here you go. We gap down to that. So let's see if we bounce here. Obviously, we have this gap too that we could potentially fill back to the upside here on Delta.
This is not like a recommendation to start going out and buy Delta. It's just a very, very important level that it's at right now. And it's got a low RSI. It's a very attractive trade. Do your own research. Make sure this is the right one for you to go long on. But it's very, very attractive right now for some upside over the short term.
Okay, real good stuff there. Chris saying, here we go on Tesla. Tesla going for that level. Chris, this is exactly what you talked about. This tried to pull back to the VWAP, didn't quite get there, then rolled through that 269. We'll see if it pops off here again. Great stuff on this one.
Seems like we're all doing pretty well this morning.
Yeah.
Hats off to everybody.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, we talked a little bit about IWM. I mean, I have one red position in my swing account, which is not the norm. It is definitely not the norm. My one red position here, actually, iPower, and that is about flat. That is basically nothing. Actually, cost goes down a little bit, but that's still that's basically flat too. Interesting, really interesting day here. I'll take it though. We'll definitely take it. Real quick, Jay, appreciate this. I got 345 as a price target and 330 as the stop loss. That's on Pan W, by the way. What was the entry there? Or right here, I think is what you're saying. So looking at about $9 worth of downside, $7 worth of upside. I don't think I'm reading that right. Workday moving, W day. That is at the highs. Wayfair moving up here. This actually traded up in the pre-market. Looks like this is also trying to go higher here on Wayfair. MLGO getting a mention in the chat. Is that moving here today? Indeed it is. Look at that. Nice little volume spike here on MLGO. 4 to 520 in pretty short order. Mike, good stuff there. Hopefully you hit that one.
Soundhound got that break over the 595 level. It didn't go up too much. Got as high as 606, and it's trying to hold that. It still looks okay for the moment, but the volume really needs to be a lot better, or else it's going to come back in.
John Connolly from Twitter. Love our Twitter viewers out there, which we have a bunch too, by the way. Love it. PayPal. This is a nice, strong move here on PayPal. To be honest, this one's been a little bit difficult to trade. John, if you have context on a potential trade here, I'd love to hear this for PayPal. This is a service that I use and have used, I think, since like 2000 and I want to say 2002 or something, like a long, long time. I've been a PayPal user for a long time. Nice move here. And this actually taking us close to that 150 day. We've got that at 62.5, just about. Currently at just shy of 61 here. I wouldn't be surprised if this keeps moving here today.
You might have a month-long inverse head and shoulders happening here with PayPal. If you
Let's
go
take
back,
a look at that on the chart. Let me bring it up here for you, 13.
go back to the same day as today, back in June, and you could see that we've got a little bit of an inverse head and shoulders forming there, and it's interesting. Interestingly, the 200-day SMA is sort of behaving like a neckline. If we can get close over the 200-day SMA, that might be a good start to the resolution of this inverse head and shoulders. The next level would be the 50.
So real quick, just to make sure I'm looking at this, is this your shoulder here, head here, shoulder here?
It's no. You got to go much closer in. I only said it's like it's a month long. So from June, this day in June, the 11th, to today. So
okay, so here's it's March, April, May, June 11th. You said?
Yep.
That's right in got you. So that's right here, and here. Gotcha. Yeah. And then here, I see what you're saying here. I'm actually going to draw that on there so I don't have trouble finding that the next time we do this.
So that's something I'd be watching for in PayPal.
John, let me know what you're thinking here on PayPal. I am in complete agreement with 13 here. A recapture of this 200-day would be bullish. If we can get a couple of closes above this 200-day, I mean, I think swinging this probably close to 70 is possible on PayPal. And this is a nice mention here this morning, John. Good stuff. 13, good spot here. I was looking much further back, but you're absolutely right. This is a really good spot here.
No problem.
Okay, we'll see here on PayPal. Let's see if that keeps running. You know, one of the other things here is so some of these swing trades, like I am not necessarily in a rush. I'm happy to, take more. I know I've had kind of a bearish view on the market, which really has not served me very well. But in the absence of that thesis working out here, I am open to other things, but I do want to play it a little bit more tactically. So PayPal looking really good here today, but I have no problem giving that another day or two before maybe taking some of that. AMD getting mentioned here in the chat. That is bouncing here. See if 182 was the bottom. Ron also mentioning Accenture. That's one that we've looked at a number of times. Accenture capturing the 50-day moving average here.
Smoke Tuna had mentioned Iovance, which is IOVA.
Okay.
It's a little bit slower moving, but it's pretty much gone straight up since the open. There's only been one small pullback, and that was to the VWAP, and then it just shot right back up after that. So there's another one to keep on your radar.
Also, thank you, iPower. Now Costco is literally the only red position in my swing portfolio. This is a better day than I expected. Knock on wood and no complaints, folks. No day trades yet here for me today.
So with Costco, remember, I think we talked about yesterday the 20-day SMA being the level or the MA that it was riding all the way up. Now it's the one we want to see hold. It's kind of flirting with it right now. So I think if we're going to see weakness in Costco, it's going to begin in the form of several closes underneath that 20-day SMA. So that's I think that's the thing to watch for here with Costco.
Okay. And I'll tell you this, if we have any type of I'll just say this right now. Here's your Costco chart. Let me go ahead. Here's the 500. I had to do some shifting around here, 13. So I actually lost my moving average for the 20-day. Let me go ahead and fix that real quick. We'll do this as a visual aid. What I was getting ready to say there is, look, if this continues to have prolonged weakness and comes in, we'll be adding again. Now, to your point here, 13, about watching the 20-day moving average, you're exactly right. You can see what happened the last time we traded back into this. We actually ramped off of it. Here we go. Looks like we're not far away. 861 is what I've got, or 6 points from where we're at.
So one thing I'm seeing with your chart that I think might be able to help you so you don't have to worry about managing all your moving averages. If you go to indicators and you type in moving and you'll move down and you see moving average multiple, that'll be one line where you can enter multiple moving averages and you don't have to individually keep turning them on and off. I don't know if that'd be helpful to you or not.
No, it would. It's a really good mention, and you're exactly right. To be quite honest with you, one of the reasons I have it laid out this way is because I've gotten feedback that it's much easier to see on the presentation when all of the moving averages are on their individual line. But shout out to you because I think you're right on that. And if I set some of these up, maybe I should use that instead.
There you go. BLCN losing ground here. This is the one I was thinking that if we start to lose that 65 EMA, which appears that we have, that we'd be looking at the 200. I think this is the one. So it's headed towards the 200 right now.
VLCN.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Breaking down here.
Workhorse with a bit of an engulfing candle there, bearish one. Careful with that one. It's testing VWAP at the moment. QURE.
Of course, WK. Yeah.
QURE, I think, is just going to keep on going lower. Maybe give up a good portion of what it made yesterday. We'll see. ZVRA, says Mike. And we also got John Connolly saying Len. I'll take a look at those. Start with ZVRA. Therapeutics, that's up 8.5%. This is moving because it got a couple of reasons. Looks like FDA announced it has indicated it will convene a meeting with the recently formed Genetic Metabolic Diseases Advisory Committee on August 2nd to review the NDA, the non-disclosure agreement for, or if that's what the NDA stands for in this context, for arimoclomol.
Have fun with that one.
I just pronounced it. An orally delivered treatment from Niemann-Pick disease type C. So apparently that's why ZVRA is moving. Now, also, they got a buy rating from H.C. Wainwright and Company for $15 price target. So a couple of things pushing this one around today. It also has a 41 million share float. Oncology also. Thank you.
Good stuff here today, folks.
And then
seeing some Eli Lilly calls. By the way, more Tesla calls as Tesla continues to rip to the high. Chris, this was monster. I'm sorry, 13. I ran you over twice there. Chris, this was a great call earlier.
As far as LEN goes, this one looks like it's just moving on. Wells Fargo sticking to their buy rating. I don't see any other news. I did see Lilium get a mention here. Oh man, look at this thing. So this was one of the EV toll plays that I was kind of trading around. I traded it back in May or June for their this show that they were at, and that was a trade. And then they came back in because I think this thing needed to raise cash or reverse split or something like that. I think it did one of those things, and now it's looking much better. Trying to get back up over $1. This is if you haven't seen Lilium aircraft, they're pretty interesting. They bill them as a jet, even though it's not a true internal combustion jet. It's more like a fan duct. But it's a really interesting eVTOL company, and their vehicles cost like about $10 million when they're being sold. So good revenue that can be had there. It's also recently got a buy rating on it from Canaccord Genuity for $2 price target. So something to keep an eye on if you're playing the eVTOL space. I like this company. They're based in, I believe, Bavaria. I like it too, Fairchild. It's pretty cool. There's a really interesting one that I keep mentioning, but I don't think they're publicly traded. But if you're interested in this kind of space, look into Cyclotech. That is a really interesting aircraft. And it works.
That sounds familiar, 13. I feel like maybe not. Maybe I'm.
I showed it to you.
Yeah,
before.
No, I think you did.
Yeah, that's true, Fairchild. It's true. So
love seeing all of the success really across the board. There's nothing really localized either today, too. It seems to be pockets of success in different areas. I absolutely love that. By the way, SPY here continuing to try and trade back up. We'll watch that. IWM staying firm, going higher here.
Yeah, CPI report does amazing things, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Tell you what, sometimes some of these days the market has really kind of felt slow. Makes a big difference when we get some pretty decent data, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. That is true. Oh man, VLCN is now down, trading slightly beneath the 200.
Tesla here looking like it's pulling off those highs here. Chris saying Tesla turning possibly another move later. Would you like to see this VWAP test like we did right here and then maybe buy it up? Maybe 267, see if we can get a couple of points there.
All right, cool. Fairchild knows about Cyclotech. Yeah, that's an awesome aircraft.
I mean, he really knows. If he's spelling cool, Kewl, that means he's elite or 1337.
Oh, he keeps it 100.
How is Lynn and Randy mentioning Zap here? How's that doing? Looks like that action is at least kind of over so far. Maybe.
I Lynn and Randy, if you have something you can send to me on Zap that is, if they do get into VTOLs, or if you have something that shows that they are trying to get into eVTOLs, I'd be interested to read it. I just don't know a lot about Zap right now. Until they actually start, let me take a look at something before I make a statement. Yeah, I don't have any kind of income statement with them. So until I start seeing something like that, I really don't want to, risk losing money on this company. So, but it is on my radar. Just if you have anything you could provide me with that, give me some more context, that'd be appreciated.
That tech unwind continuing to happen here today. By the way, LNTH, Lantheus, appearing on the relative volume scanner, is doing a great job holding the next leg higher here today, Jay. Man, oh man, that was a good one. Man, oh man, that was a good one. NW calls I'm seeing. Boy, those were 600 calls. Those are January. Those are real small. The January 2026 leaps on PanW there came across the wire. Some more here. This Tesla option still active. Looks like they're buying puts now.
Keep an eye on CYN for expanding volume.
Okay.
If
bring that up.
It's kind of interesting, right, that it's holding right here, and the MACD is starting to curl a little bit. I'm not saying this is going to just suddenly break out, but just it's trying to get back above VWAP. See if the volume expands so it can do that, and we might see something else happen here with this one. Just keep it on your radar.
Okay. Ava, good morning. Yeah, all of solar is ripping here. EMPH higher goes. Take a look at TAN here, the solar ETF. That moved higher here. Solar Edge, ticker SEDG, moved higher earlier as well. Run, I bet, is the exact same thing. Sunrun holding higher here. Solar, good off the back of that CPI print here today for those solar names. The LCN continuing its breakdown.
Yeah. So going a little bit lower, just slowly.
BDRX. Tuna, I'm curious to know, BDRX, after this pullback here, did we shake out enough of this weakness? I know we always talk about buying weakness, especially on some of these smaller names. Did we shake enough of that out here? Might we be setting up for a potential VWAP move here, BDRX? Love to know what you're thinking there. CYN, you're saying it needs more time. Interesting. Okay, so that one also kind of coming in here. You've been great on those buy spots on the weakness.
Looks like QURE still headed down, but it might be finding a bounce spot here. But it's got to get back above the 200 EMA on the 5-minute, and that's at 929. I don't know that it recaptures that. I don't even know that it recaptures 9. Just be careful.
LGVN, this curling up off the bottom. I know this had a kind of a big day yesterday, and at least in the pre-market anyway. Jonathan, I like your strategy here, though. Watching it compress, saying maybe it can break out of that later. I wouldn't necessarily hold it through this, but maybe keep it on watch and see if you get that move you're looking for.
I think it's in a bit of a channel. And the reason I say that is because when I look at the 5-minute, I can see that it's trading between two levels that I have put in here previously. One is at about 370 and the other is at 445. When I look at my hour chart and I look to the left between those two levels, I can see where I was measuring that consolidation from. It stems back from March 20th to about 26th.
Samita is asking BDRX, any thought? Yeah, we need some volume to kind of flow into this. This really kind of pulled back right out of the open. Now we've stayed here, kind of stayed in this area. We're wicking to the downside. This definitely seems a little bit weak at the moment. We want to see some volume kind of flow into this name.
Yeah,
it needs smoke tuna. There you go. Adding to that, it's got a 1 billion float. It needs lots of volume, not just a little bit of volume, but lots of volume, and we don't have it yet.
Yeah, and that's the problem with some of these large float names that have a pop in the pre-market. There's just you don't need that much volume with how non-regular session trading works. You just spread it out, it'll go right up. But once your regular session starts, if you don't have those people trading it and helping it move it up, then you'll get sellers, especially people that want to just get out of this and are holding a bag. Okay, CYN starting to turn around here. Back up through VWAP for the moment.
CYN.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome, Smita.
Yeah, this is the one where I was talking about the MACD starting to curl.
Yep.
So this one's starting to look a little bit better. Let's see what happens when it gets to about 560. It seems like there's or maybe 550. Seems like that would be the first level of resistance it needs to get past. Needs some volume expansion too.
And I have 545. Okay. I do see a little bit of size there at 540, but maybe 540 to 550 is probably that range that you're talking about. I think you're spot on there. I have the VWAP at 577, so maybe we still get some additional push there. Would like to I'm going to answer this question here. John, again, asking, what do you think of CRISPR, right? So this is going to be those gene editors. I'm not sure, like, as far as the stocks go, these are definitely kind of interesting because I can see where this would go. They've been very, very difficult to trade. CRISPR, there was NTLA. I wonder if that's still around. Indeed, it is. NTLA, you've got EDIT, which is going to be another gene editor here. All of these higher, by the way. All of their charts kind of look similar too, maybe kind of coming off the bottom here. I like these, but I don't have a really good feeling on when you should be buying them yet. I've traded them with mixed results in the past. I had a really good trade on NTLA. I lost a little bit on EDIT. CRISPR probably best in breed here. I like these. I do like these. I'm just not sure now's the time yet. I'd love to hear anyone else's thoughts on these gene editors, though.
I personally like the what they're going after here with these gene editors. I think that it's overall a good thing for humanity. When it comes to CRSP individually, I'm just going to be looking at their financials, and they do not have revenue that is reoccurring. It seems like there's a month where they don't make anything and they lose billions, or not billions, hundreds of millions, and then the next month they have 200 million in revenue. I don't know enough about this company to understand why that is, but the fact that they're losing, consistently losing millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars every quarter, makes me think there's limited upside, very limited upside until they start having, regular revenue growth and they have a consistent amount of income,
Smoke Tuna here mentioning CYN trying to turn here. You know what I like here is that volume looks like it's trying to pick up as well. The spread is less than ideal here, but this is actually looking pretty good here.
And it's right in the area we were talking about where it might get rejected, that we need to see the volume expand to push through. This is the first.
And it just pulled. It actually, I was putting a limit order out there. It pulled and filled me. Glad I didn't chase that one. I'm going to see if this bounces here. I'm going to try not to knee-jerk react to that. See if we can actually get back above that CYN here. If it breaks this low, probably close this out here. Definitely don't want to react too early there. That was just kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, QURE.
You're welcome. Thanks for hanging out, man. Hopefully you have a good rest of your day as well. We're live all the time, so hope to see you back here. Really good stuff. Really good stuff, John. Mike mentioning that LCFY is halted. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at too, and It's not hard to see why. This thing just kind of going straight up. Only one pullback. What does this company even do? Software. SaaS.
Mike mentioning that the Qs are fading. Yeah, Jay Rice, shout out to you. You were all over that unwind. SPY also fading here real quick. So let's take a look at that while we're waiting on CYN here. Look at SPY. This definitely rolling over here. You guys were mentioning the Qs rolling over here. Indeed, look at IWM. Pretty much the opposite of that, holding up here. So looking pretty good.
And what's the VIX reading?
VIX, I got VIX at 1292. Actually, that just spiked. That gapped down and now filled that gap to where we were at yesterday on the VIX.
Well, maybe this is the spike in the VIX that I was been talking about. Maybe it's starting to happen. So we'll see.
The SFC possible curl here. Jay mentioning NVIDIA. This a huge reversal. I got to imagine SMCI. Yeah, same deal here. A nice shorts on those.
That's probably true, Fairchild. But I think it's, I like where the gene editing is headed. I know that there's going to be a lot of morality issues surrounding it, but I think at the end of the day, it's going to be, more of a net win for humanity, especially if it helps, cure diseases that we've had a hard time with. Go ahead.
VLCN may be curling here.
VLCN going strong.
We actually haven't even looked at NNOX here today yet.
Okay, it's a nice little formation there. Looks like it.
Look at the levered regional bank trade here, DPST. That looking real good here today. I know we talked. Jay mentioned KRE earlier today. DPST going to be that levered ETF for that one. Smoke Tuna saying I'll stay away from VLCN. Okay. LPA pop. That was that one that had that wild move. Wow. This thing went all the way up to what, 500? It's $9 now. Then another reason why when you have some of the gains, especially in some of these outsized weird moves, just take them, or at least take partial. Apple's still at the lows, Amazon at the lows, Netflix at the lows. Tesla actually reversed. We might get another move there, though. Tesla.
VLCN trying to pop. I'm a little concerned that it might have limited upside somewhere between 550 and 575. It might see a rejection. That's what I'm looking for right now with this one.
Look at Tesla right through that view. I wonder if we get some more support right in here in this consolidation area. I got that at what, 264-ish? 264-ish on Tesla. MLGO up to its highs. Let's see if we break out here. MLGO.
What's the news with MLGO today?
I don't know if there was news. Let me check here. That might just kind of be some trading action.
Just like relationship trade.
Resume trade. Yeah, I don't have any news fresh today from MLGO.
Maybe it's a squeeze. 48% float shorted.
Yeah, I remember that's that updated reading there too on that short interest. Average days to cover 1 just because of the volume there. Okay. BTAI, we'll take a look at that as well. That's a former AI name.
Yeah.
AI, also one of those.
Things are looking a little weaker and going sideways in some of their areas.
Yeah, not if it's an IWM though. Tesla continuing to pull here. You get up here.
Yeah, micro algo's still going.
Right to the 264 support here on Tesla. Chris, I tell you what, you got the playbook. Someone gave you the answers ahead of time here today. I absolutely love that. You taking another stab at Tesla here? Oh, look at that. It's actually already moved off that 264. Grats if you grab that, excuse me. LCFY open. We'll take a look at that as well. Oh my God. That thing is just vertical. LCFY.
LCF fly.
LCFY. Okay. Man, 13. I tell you what, the dad jokes are just so crispy and great. Hard to do anything else, I'll be honest.
Tesla on the daily chart, a lot of upper shadows. Got to think that this thing is going to cool off at some point, but it just keeps going up, doesn't it?
QS trying to get back above its VWAP here.
Yeah, how's this one doing? Let's see. Just kind of leaking. It's remember QS has a pretty large float, so it's going to be hard to get the momentum going in this one. KZIA now flushing.
KZIA. Let me bring that up here. Jonathan, you were asking what the news is on LCFY. Let me pull that here for you. Let's see if there is any. We'll use Pro to do that, of course. I got nothing fresh here. Last news was a board reshuffle in June, the middle of June. So I got nothing fresh here on LCFY.
The low float is really helping be able to move this around. It's less than 1 million shares in the float. And we've traded almost 7 times the float today.
We've rotated its float a number of times here. Okay, CYN, glad we did not do a knee-jerk reaction there. Right back to the buy spot. Again, VWAP here, 574. I actually have it at 585 on Thinkorswims. Actually, I have it a little bit higher on my broker here. We'll see if this can continue. The one thing that I don't like about this, volume seems to be drying up a little bit. Let's see if we can pop and move higher here, CYN. That nasty pull actually ended up filling me really, really good that we were able to use a limit order there. Probably could have got that a little bit lower, frankly, but nonetheless, we didn't chase. As a result, we were able to use some more patience to stay in it. See if this one ends up working here.
Yeah, and I think as it approaches that level where it was rejected previously, it may be a good idea to raise your stop.
Yeah, definitely. And if we can get another pop here above 530, I'll probably put the stop at break even at that point.
IOVA that was mentioned previously. This looks like it's trying to turn around. Volume needs to be a little bit better. It has a intraday high of 864. It needs to take out. It's above VWAP though, so it's got that.
Yeah, I was going to say, just recaptured its VWAP here. So this is actually a pretty good question. I'd like to get multiple answers from the group. Would be ideal to answer this. What do you guys consider low float to qualify as a volume mover? So there are a couple of legs in the question there. I'm just going to address them individually. Low float to me is anything under 10 million. That number you obviously can change. I'd be curious to know what the group really thinks, but really anything under 10 million, I consider low float. I consider micro float anything under 1 million.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the volume mover, well, volume really, as long as it's got volume, and I mean, like thousands, like some of the volume parameters that I give you guys, 600,000, 500,000 shares, as long as it's got that volume, it can be a volume mover. Float thing going to be something else. So
I agree with all that, and I think I'd like to add that it's also going to be relative to market participation. So if you're going to have the low participation that we've had so far this summer, then the low float stocks like 10 million is probably where I'm going to be considering low, a good low float area. We start trading like almost 100 shares a day, like in the SPY. I'm sorry, 100 million shares a day in the SPY, like we sort of had in 2000, 2001. Can't say that's when that's going to happen again. But if we were doing that, I'd probably be looking at a little bit higher than 10 million. You could go as high as maybe 20 million or so if it's getting enough attention to it. It's just that for the market participation we've had lately, 10 million is where I'd feel safe considering it to be low float.
Okay. Love the specificity of the answers there. We'll take that from anybody else. Jay, you're looking at NVIDIA here. That is curling off the bottom. I'm not sure I'm feeling the tech trade here yet today, but this is curling. This is curling off the bottom for sure.
Yeah.
Kingdom Lamb saying, I got a feeling this will be a good afternoon for day trading again.
I don't know that I necessarily like the way NVIDIA looks on smaller time frames. I'd still wait for this to maybe even shake out lower. And here's the other thing: there's been a discussion, we'll say, where it may not, be wise to buy the next big dip in NVIDIA. It might be the start of more selling. Take that how you will. It's not necessarily, it's not advice or anything. It's just that there's been a discussion among our happy hour group, and it seems to be that the next big pullback is not going to be the one worth buying. Let it shake out a little bit more.
Yeah. And I think that's probably just pretty prudent anyway, right? Just no reason to try and be a hero here. LPA, Jonathan, you got your eye still on LPA here open. This actually spiked higher here. I don't want to call for a repeat of what we got the last time, but this moving higher here, LPA.
Oh, this is
that
one.
Yeah, this is the one that you ask me about all the time. Yeah.
Jeez, look at that round trip move. Holy crap.
That's what I know. That's what I mean. If you get some really kind of outsized gains, it's okay to take partial.
That's a Devil's Tower right there.
Devil's Tower. We got the Abandoned Baby and the Devil's Tower. What other kind of formations do we have here?
I mean, you ever been to Wyoming and seen the Devil's Tower? This is kind of what it looks like. It's just like a barren landscape. It's just like it's not barren landscape, but it's like a flat. It's like much more flat land, and then it's just this big old piece of this big old monolith that sticks out of the land. Maybe it's a skyscraper if you want to, if you live in the city. But yeah, this thing is just, you look at the price action on the daily, it's just like flat. Big old spike for a few days. Flat.
CYN, let's go to that VWAP, baby. Let's get this done here. 550. This was the first level that you were talking about, right? 13, the 550 level that you really wanted to see this move to. I can't remember the exact number.
Okay, so if you look at the candle from 1020, where you got filled initially and it was rejected at that level, we're trying to make our way up through 550 and go higher. Now, the reason I was calling for the 550 area, like 550, 555, is if you look to the left in the pre-market, that's where the support was. From 7 o'clock until about 8, where we had this drop and then it recaptured it. But I think because of the price action in the pre-market, that's why I was looking at 550, 555 as being a big resistance spot. Now we get over that, we could see some more upside.
Yeah.
And then there was a question that was directed toward me. Let me see if I could see where that was. Is NVDA a double top? Let me take a look here. I guess it depends on what time frame, because on the daily, I don't see a double top on the daily. We'd have to, the current, day would have to trade up to the all-time high, which I currently have.
Closing CYN here as it moves towards the VWAP. Nice little pop there. Really good job staying patient on that one. X-Sniper, yeah, we were just scalping CYN right there. No other day trades here, but really, really good job staying patient there. Didn't make the same mistake that I had made before, which is really what I was trying to do. So we're out there, got some green on the screen. Sorry for interrupting you.
That's okay. For CYN, looks like 6 is the next resistance level to get over. Anyway, with NVIDIA, you'd have to tell me what time frame you're looking at this double top you're referring to, and then I could give you a better answer. But on the daily, I don't see it. Yeah, that was a really good CYN trade. Good job.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. I was skeptical when I got filled on the way down, but the plan right back to the VWAP worked. We actually on the biggest volume stick of the day here. LCFY, Bex, great job there. Boom, boom, boom. 592 to 9, got 3+ points on that move. Awesome stuff there. By the way, take a look at CYN here. Went to that VWAP just like we talked about and yanked. right back down to that initial buy spot. I was actually out in the 560s. Okay. That makes me feel pretty good. That makes me feel pretty good. We'll see if we get another setup here. Let's see what else we got. VLCN, maybe curling. Maybe. Thank you, Tuna. That was a good call. By the way, that was a good alert to the group here on CYM.
Yeah, so just like with CYM, when it comes to VLCN, I'm going to want to see this pre-market resistance get taken out. And I don't think it's hard to see where that is. We can probably likely peg it at 575. That was a breakout level or when the pre-market opened this morning. And it held up there all through pre-market. And then we broke down here in the regular session. So 575, I think, is the level that needs to get taken out for more upside in VLCN.
Okay. Okay. Christopher asking, what do you think of a SPY entry here? I am not going to trade the SPY here. I'm going to kind of let the SPY do its thing. I'm more interested in individual names. However, just to kind of answer your question, this was actually one of the areas that that's such little consolidation. Not really sure how great that actually is here. I think you could do it here, Chris. I think you could do it here, but I would probably. What's your plan? What are you looking for here? What's the rest of the thesis here, other than just the level? By the way, CYN after that pullback, maybe we're going to have some more. Watch that VWAP here, CYN. Got that 570. What is this? 570. 573. Small size going for the high. Okay, so you're doing a day trade pretty much here with the SPY. Yeah, you know what? If we continue to curl, that probably works out for you there. That's actually not a bad spot on the way back down, but I'd play a tight stop on that.
Yeah, I think when it comes to SPY, because of the big move we had yesterday, I don't see a clear level unless I go into more of the intraday, the smaller time frames. So for me, it seems like it's coming off of a consolidation area that we got yesterday toward the close. You can see that from about maybe close to 2 p.m. until about 4 p.m. when we had this little spike just into the close. There was a bit of consolidation there. That could be a bit of a demand zone, but I don't like the way that the SPY is currently trading at the moment. It looks like it's just consolidating before it goes lower. So I think you might have a better opportunity to get in lower on the SPY. That's just what I'm seeing. You might see something different, but that I think you'd want to wait until at least it goes under 558.
Okay. I have been waiting literally all day for this. So by the way, real quick here, guys. CYN, yank off that VWAP. When you get the gains, don't be afraid to take them. Don't be afraid to take them. Okay, I've been waiting all day to give this read. So I hope that I'm not great at these reads, so bear with me here. But I hope that you folks enjoy this as much as I did when I saw this here this morning. We are having fun here on live trading, but coming up at 11, the rising demand for whiskey and how investors can capitalize on that trend. 13, I know you got to like this. I know you got to like this. This webinar will introduce you to the world of whiskey investing. Global alcohol consumption is on the rise with projections hitting new peaks by 2028. Whiskey in particular is experiencing significant growth. Join us to hear from industry experts and learn about how you can invest in whiskey and profit from this growing and delicious industry. So whiskey, how investors can capitalize on it, coming up here at 11. 13, I know you're a big whiskey fan. We'll be checking that out.
That depends. Who's going to be there? What whiskey names?
You know what? I like how you're giving me live homework here. That's sweet. Let me see if I can get you a list of people there.
And I'd be curious to know if are they all American brands? Are we going to be seeing more bourbon, or are we going to actually see Scotch, which is what I actually like?
Okay. I will say this. I do love Scotch, but I like my bourbon too.
I will take a bourbon, and if I don't like bourbon, then I shouldn't be living here. Only
how's
on
that
Benzinga,
Dal?
yeah.
Hey, stay focused. How's that Dal, Ryan? Dal's bouncing here. Stay focused on. We were kind of talking about this earlier. Ended up not taking this because one of the things that we had talked about is potential upside move and what else we can trade here. But this, we talked about this, maybe potentially bouncing. Looks like we're getting that. I'm going to highlight these comments anytime. Elon, if you're going to toast us, you will absolutely get that comment highlighted. Tom says only on Benzinga. LOL.
Yeah.
Hey, look, man, we do what we can. Tom, I can't even tell if you're complimenting or insulting us, but it doesn't matter because it's that awesome. And yeah, that's true. Only on Benzinga. Really quickly here. The person that's going to be on it is going to be Anthony Zhang, the CEO from Vinovest and the head of sales at the Single Cask. Lion Atlas says, I like my water. So do I, man. Water is the life force.
Mm-hmm.
Water is the life force.
I also like putting a little bit of water into some of my scotch to break the surface.
Oh, absolutely. You got to open it up a little bit. A couple of drips in water and a Glencairn glass. You got to do it right.
Yeah. Water has a lot of wonderful uses.
Tom, complimenting. I have nothing but compliments from this channel always. No, I'm sorry. I'm having some fun. Look, like I said, I mean, a whiskey webinar, I don't often get to have some fun with that. So I'm milking it for all it's worth today, Tom.
Maybe I'll have
awesome.
Maybe I'll have a scotch today. It's been a while since I've had one.
Okay. I don't think I need to go anywhere. I guess maybe I could join you for that on Happy Hour. We'll see. We'll see how the day shakes out here.
Gregory mentioning that HP Enterprise will deliver Japan's AIST next-gen supercomputer for Gen AI powered by NVIDIA. Well, I see you have some tickers there. Wouldn't we also want to include HP? Is it going to be HPQ or HP? I think it's HPE we want with this one.
Yeah, the Hewlett Packard Enterprise. That HPE. Is HPE. That's actually lower here on that. I guess I'm a little bit surprised on that. Oh, and Gerald, it's distilled water. But I guess I'm a little bit surprised on that. I'm surprised that this is lower with the AI PR. Tom saying, are you sure that you guys didn't get some samples from the whiskey company and hit it a little early? Tom, if this is the case, like I said, I didn't know that I was going to have to do this until this morning, and I am not at the office, so they did not mail samples to my house. If the team, I'll just say this, they might be listening in the background, so I'm kind of just going to say the quiet part out loud here. If the team got whiskey samples and did not share them with me, we're going to have a discussion a little bit later today. It'll be a polite discussion, but it'll be a discussion. And I will say the other thing is a shout out. I don't know if you remember, but we actually had one of our viewers send Mitch and I some beer that we tested live on stream. So Tom, not even going to put it out of the question that we wouldn't do some sampling in the morning, but we'd be very, very responsible and professional about that. We're having
you don't want to drink
morning.
and drive stocks.
13, you're always out there to outdo yourself.
My jokes are the worst.
Hey, look, man, you get me laughing all the time. So.
Yeah, but that's because they're so bad.
I don't know what that says about me, 13. I really don't. Folks, let's just take a whip around the market here. The same trend that we've seen from the morning here is continuing, right? So we've got SPY continuing to break down. This is actually at the lows. That bounce was very, very short-lived. I don't know how when I type in QQQ, I get IROHQU, but whatever. Here's the Qs. This also at the lows here. And the IWM, the opposite, remaining firm, remaining at the highs. Boy, it feels like that CPI print was a while ago at this point.
Lion Atlas, let me just tell you how long I've been on the water company sector. I've been talking about that since I think it was 2001. I may have not have mentioned it so much on here because I'm frankly tired of not seeing them do a whole lot. But there's a bunch of water companies that are just really, really interesting plays, especially some of the ones that are really starting to gobble up different utility companies. There's one in Arizona.
Here. I got something. While you're explaining this, I'm going to go ahead real quickly as a caveat here. When 13 started talking about this, he's absolutely telling the truth. And when he started talking about this, we started building watch lists. This is what I have so far for his water watch list. I'll zoom in here so you folks can copy these tickers. You know what? I'll see if I can paste them in the chat. Sorry for interrupting you. Keep going, 13.
Yeah, I think that one down there at the bottom, WTRG. I think that's the one that's gobbling up a lot of the Arizona utility companies. Arizona is going to be a big hub for data centers and chip fabrication, and they require a ton of water. They also have a big nuclear facility, which also requires a ton of water. So I think water treatment and sourcing is going to be important for a state like Arizona, and I think those utility companies are going to rake it in there. But hey, let's there you go. Some of those names are a little bit close together, but
no, if you you know what though? Here, why don't I? Oh shoot, they are. So that's interesting. I actually see all the different chats. The YouTube one is all together. The Twitch one is spaced out. So Twitch obviously did that paste operation right. There's no way I can copy that. Let me see if I can go to twitch.com.
But to wrap up the point here, because we don't want to keep talking about this while there's trades to be made. Lion Atlas, if we want to have a bigger discussion about water plays, we can definitely do that. This week or next week. I think water is exactly what you said. It's going to be super important. It's going to be super important for multiple reasons. Not that we just need it to live, but we also need it to run our economy. That's going to be more heavily dependent on, I think, nuclear energy. We're going to have to power these data centers and keep those cool. Chip fabrication, lots of things are going to require water. I absolutely believe that you are right on with that.
So this is definitely a sector, if you will. That's probably not the right word. A subset that we're watching. We do have some, like I said, some lists built for that, but nothing yet. We'll keep you posted on that. Glad you guys are mentioning that. Let me go back to the trading platform here. Go ahead and execute some of those trades. Way
thinking about it, that's what we'll have to examine and work around, because it's hard to say what are the top three. I know that we could probably iron that out, but I can't give you off the top of my head what the top three ones are, because that would require a little bit more research and work. And I don't want to give you a guess. I'm sorry.
It was a good happy hour discussion. Yeah, we've had that a few times, haven't we?
Oh, yeah. Seems to be
Elon saying, hi, Ryan and 13. Let's drink and go play poker at the casinos. High flying recently, MGM and LVS. Jay was actually just making a point here that those names that were beaten up recently, all doing well here today. MGM, no different there. Las Vegas Sands, even more beaten up. That's higher here today. You want to take a look at the win chart. That looks identical to the LVS chart, just a little bit of a higher price. That also doing that today. I'll tell you what, I love hanging out with 13 after hours. He is an absolute blast to be around all the time. I'd love to do that. I would definitely have a couple of drinks with you folks at a casino or a little whiskey bar. Oh man, that would be a lot of fun.
That sounds like fun. And we're already talking about Las Vegas. We just had a discussion about Las Vegas yesterday on Happy Hour. One particular company, Sphere Entertainment.
Really good tie-in there. Good tie-in there.
This was interesting because the gentleman who went to Vegas and had this experience, we got a lot of really good boots on the ground information about how this looks, what they're doing, and a lot of gears started turning in our head about where this company could go if they make the right moves. And we're thinking, okay, if this company starts to maybe build another location, that would be one thing. But if they use the one location that they have and they start booking some of these, older names that could get a lot of people, the older generations that have money, into the seats of the Sphere, then that would be a really, really big move for this company. And they also have a very high short interest as well. So there's a lot of interesting things happening here at this company. This is one to watch if you want to, spend some time looking for something that has a good growth potential.
The couple of things for me that were really kind of eye-popping here. First of all, Matt Malley has traded this before and has done very, very well with this. He had a monster call on this, I think when it was in the 30 handle. That's neither here nor there. The big comment from the boots on the ground report that we were getting yesterday was how great the actual experience is. And this is important for several reasons. Number one, we've talked recently about the consumer really kind of focusing on experiences instead of goods. This often led to, to moves in some of the boats, right? People are going on cruises or traveling just kind of in general, and doing the experience thing instead of just having the material goods. But beyond that, he was saying that the experience was so good and so unique that they're not even sure that they're going to go to regular concerts again. This guy went to go see a Dead concert, and there was a whole bunch of obviously like psychedelic stuff in the sphere. But beyond some of the concerts, one of the other things is the NHL recently had their draft there. And I wouldn't be surprised, or I think as far as the stock goes, I wouldn't be surprised if there were more bigger entities like sports leagues doing events there. I think that's got to be pretty good for the for the sphere itself. I know it costs a lot to build, so there's a pretty big fixed cost or sunk cost there that you got to reclaim. And then the other thing he said is that the tickets were not that outrageous. I think he was saying like $160 for the ticket per a piece. When I went to go see Clapton back in 2004, I think I paid $140 a ticket.
Yeah,
that was 20 years ago. It's just it really. I was amazed. I was amazed at how great the report of the actual experience was, combined with the low price cost of the ticket. What I thought was low. I would have someone that goes to see sports events. I mean, some of those seats can cost thousands of dollars. So anyway, I'm interested in this one. No position though. I will keep watching this.
Getting a mention about ANVS. I see how that one's moving up. When I look on a 5-minute chart and I take a look at the left at previous price action from the past couple of days, I can see that we're heading into a consolidation area. This can be a supply zone where we might see some resistance. So keep that in mind as we start to venture into the 15 handle. Might see resistance that could make it hard to get up any higher than that. So just keep that in mind. Oh, perfect, Gregory.
Yeah, I was going to say that was exactly the comment that we needed there, Gregory. Sphere Tech runs on NVIDIA chips. LOL. LOL. Okay, this has been a really good day.
I like it.
It's been a really good day. Yeah. Way green in the swing account. One of the others, this is actually kind of funny. One of the option swings that I did recently was, that's not it. Ticker VAL. This is Valaris. We talked about this one the other day. This got a price at Jay's Life. I think it was you that was reporting this price target upgrade to 90. I was left for dead. I bought these calls, and the next day stock was down, just a huge, gigantic red candle. Looked awful. I really kind of consolidated. Today, actually having a pretty good day. So I'm probably going to take this position off at some point here today. These calls were left for dead, and staying patient and staying in and being rewarded might be able to escape this trade with no loss at all, which would be pretty awesome. Lynn saying, looks like there will be a live trading meetup in Las Vegas. Look, I'd be all for that. I'd be all for that. I'd like to come up with an event where there could be some meetup and some drinks, but I also want to have activities. Like I'd like to have speakers going there talking about, who would be I
don't want to throw cold water on this, but I don't know that I'll ever get up that early, especially in Las Vegas.
Okay,
remember trading is for us because we're central and eastern. That works out a little bit better than when you're on the.
Man, dude, in my old age, I'm up at 5 o'clock every day. Anyway, it doesn't matter. As Jay said a couple of weeks ago, the older you get, the earlier you rise.
Vegas.
Yeah,
it's Vegas.
Like,
are you going to be
Vegas? It's the city that never sleeps. It's America's playground. For heaven's sakes, we're probably not waking up early. We'll schedule. I'll tell you what. We'll schedule the events maybe in the afternoon. And I'm not. What would be who would be a great speaker at an event like that? Brian Shannon giving a lesson on VWAP. I mean, how many of you would like to see Brian Shannon talk about his experiences and things with VWAP? I'd like to have, a bunch of different speakers talk about different things, and then maybe like a golf outing attached to it, something like that. I'd love to do an event like that. It would probably be kind of expensive though. Just especially given the cost of everything now. But yeah, I mean, that sounds like a great idea.
The Elon mentioning laggards like Boeing taking off. I think Boeing was a really good buy in April because we were talking about how it's trading inside a broadening wedge. That was the bounce off the bottom of the wedge. It has not gone back to that yet. And I think because of the different things that have been happening that we've been seeing in the news, like with them coming to a deal with the DOJ regarding its Boeing crashes and other issues, I think that there may be the worst of it behind us. I say that with as much caution as I can, because I don't know if there's going to be something else that's
Didn't
found
we
out
get something
later.
overnight about wheels falling off? Wasn't there a report that this morning, that a wheel fell off a Boeing plane?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Educate me, please, if that's what happened. But at the same time, if that did happen, then I'd expect there to be more downside than this. But I think, like I was saying, I think that maybe the majority of the problems are baked into the price. The worst could be behind them. They just need to not have any more mishaps. And if this wheel falling off is just the first of
this
another
was a Boeing plane in Tampa, but it came from CNN. So let me check from a reputable source.
Yeah. Oh, now see, if it's for United, then that could be.
Here we go. 6 hours ago. 6 hours ago, plane blowout. Watch the terrifying moment. Boeing 737's wheel blows out on the runway, forcing the passenger jet pilot to ditch the takeoff at 150 miles an hour. The one thing I will say is, thank God they didn't take off, right? They were able to just kind of scrap that. But man,
I don't think that's on Boeing.
This is 6 hours ago.
I don't think that's on Boeing. You said the tire blew out.
Yeah.
They don't make tires. Yeah, I think that's more on United Airlines then, on their maintenance.
Well, this is American. American was the carrier. And it's interesting that you mentioned that, because we actually asked Lynn and Randy about the last mishap with planes, which we confirmed was a United issue. It was a maintenance issue, not a Boeing issue. So
yeah, so a tire blowout. Yeah, a tire blowout. I don't think I would pin that on Boeing, because they don't make the tires, and I don't know how new that plane is, but if United Airlines or if American Airlines is not doing proper maintenance, where they're looking at the tires and going, that might blow out, and not change it, can't be on Boeing.
Yeah, and it actually goes on to say here that none of the 176 passengers nor the 6 crew members suffered any injuries. So obviously, we're talking about kind of the bad news here. Really great job by that flight crew and flight staff to make sure that nobody got hurt. That's going to be more important than anything else here. There's Sinead. We got him.
What is going on? Yeah. But flights still terrify me after. It's like I'm about to drop a beat and drop a rap. I won't do that, but I will go ahead.
I thought you were going to literally just drop bars in our face. I was like, oh my God, here we go.
No, not at all. No, I'm here to talk about what we talked about yesterday, and that's the webinar on how to invest in the whiskey business. So if you've ever been intrigued in that, you want to learn more about how that works, the barrels, I've learned a whole bunch. Again, this is another way that you can kind of support the channel if you want to hang out and see what all the fun is about. And we do see your feedback, by the way, on ads. Ryan and 13 did a great job keeping me posted. We've notated them, and we've already decreased them from every 6 minutes, every 30 minutes. And, with webinars like this one that's about to come up and your support with it, and we can provide you valuable insights in alternative investment opportunities, that's how we can kind of monetize the channel in different ways as well. So I appreciate both of you as always. Appreciate the chat. I got to get going and prep, and I got to get that black chair out maybe. I don't know. But either way, see you guys in 4 minutes. Peace.
Sounds good, man.
Namaste.
That's the rollout. All right, cool. Yeah, namaste. Bye. I'm putting these two back up. Don't pick your nose. I'm out. Bye.
Yeah.
Okay.
You serve make enemies.
Oh, by the way, real quick, I'm just gonna answer this, and I gotta hop. I've never had a full cup of coffee in my life, nor cocaine. So I'm just straight energy. Okay, I gotta go. Bye.
Okay, wait, Sinead. Am I ending the stream and sending it over there?
End the stream at 11 o'clock, and then we'll pick it up on the other side. You guys don't have to go anywhere. Peace. Namaste.
I mean, we're just having fun. I don't know what to say. We're out here having fun this morning. And I'll tell you what, like I said, I got news here that we have a webinar on whiskey. Man, you could have said almost anything after that, and I probably would have been happy. So, okay, real good stuff here. We do have a couple of minutes left. You see anything out there, 13? I'm sorry, I actually thought Zunaid was going to take over there, so I killed the screen share, but we don't need to do that.
The only thing I can see right now is Ron Burgundy. There's a Ron Burgundy meme in my head after he made that coffee and cocaine comment about how quickly that escalated.
Yeah, I mean, well, here's the thing.
So much.
Zunaid is, I'm pretty sure Zunaid is a huge Drake fan. And I think that Zunaid likes to go from 0 to 100 effing real quick all the time. That's just everything I've known about Zunaid has been that. He loves to just go over the top as soon as he can. So in any case.
Good movie.
In any case.
SoFi considering leaps, says Webcoin. BLBD broke resistance. Oh, wait. I wanted to take a look at Lilium because that was getting mentioned that it broke over $1 and it's at $1, which is interesting because this is breaking over the 250-day SMA at the same time. Now, this is trading in a bit of a wedge, or not a wedge. This is more of a maybe I would consider this more of an asymmetrical triangle. So this, I think the next upside target I'd have for this one is trying to get over the 500-day SMA. But first, I want to see it hold above these two previous moving averages I just mentioned, the 50 and the 200. Big move here with LILM. QS looks like it may break resistance and rep. Did it curl back up? Let's take a look here. Yes, yeah, kind of. So the thing I'm seeing right now is that it's putting in a pretty good amount of upper shadows every time it gets into this this pre-market into the open consolidation. So from about 8 a.m. till about right where we opened, there was this consolidation. That's the area we need to get through. That's why we're seeing these upper shadows every time it gets up there. And then it gets rejected. If it doesn't happen this time, that would be a good sign. But I'd be cautious about QS.
Okay. Real quick here, Benjamin saying, who all here uses Benzinga Pro? I've been trading for 5 years and I've never used anything like it. However, I'm thinking about trying it to up my game. Let me know what you guys think. Benjamin, I will let the community tell you. I'm sure you already know what I think about it. If I can't answer any questions, I'd be happy to do that. But help out Benjamin here. Let him know what you think about that. We, of course, use that here every single day. Appreciate you hanging out as well.
I'll tell you why I like the most basic reason why I like Benzinga Pro is because I get the data that I want as quickly as I can get it.
And it's all in one spot too. So, okay.
I love getting data. That's what I use for getting data. Sorry.
And then he processes the data and it is awesome. Okay. So folks, it is time for that whiskey webinar. We're going to go ahead and send you over there. 13, excellent job here this morning. Community, you folks did an awesome job yet again here as well. We're going to be right back at this again tomorrow. 13, take care of yourself. Enjoy the whiskey webinar, folks. We are out and we'll see you tomorrow.